Today on Rise Up. This just in. Members of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light coming from Belgium, France, and Switzerland are gathering today in Geneva in front of the permanent mission of Jordan to protest against the injustice committed by the Jordanian government concerning the arrest and persecution of 6 members of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light. We are joined by a special guest, the Bishop of Switzerland, Arnaud Al Aal-Mahdi, to discuss this event. This is Rise Up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rise Up. My name is Ailia Halal.
And I'm Irfan Alamgir.
And we're super excited to be on the show today with a very special guest, a very beloved brother, and that is the Bishop of Switzerland, Brother Arnaud Al Aal-Mahdi.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's quite a day today, Arnaud, and I think we should update the viewers on what's going on. So let's just jump into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a very exciting day for us, actually, because we know what's behind the scene. It's like a few months we are in contact with some believers in Switzerland, France and Belgium, and they took this initiative to make a protest today. They are gathering today in Geneva, and they are going to make a protest in front of the permanent mission of Jordan to protest against the unjust arrest of 6 of our beloved brothers and sisters there, while they were just in the street sharing some flyers about the religion, and also protesting. It was beautiful. They were protesting in Jordan for other brothers that were arrested in Azerbaijan, and they themselves got arrested.
Oh, wow.
So there's like this circle of solidarity. Now the Swiss and the Belgian and the French go again to support it's like
That's
a chain.
Beautiful. Yeah. A circle of solidarity. I love it. Yeah, no, it's amazing. And you've seen people who are now Jordanians. You've seen people from Belgium, from Sweden, and all these different countries, Switzerland, coming together in solidarity because they will not stand for the unjust persecution, imprisonment, detention, call it what you want, of these people. And it's really amazing to see. And obviously you're very deeply connected with the French-speaking Ansar in Europe.
Yes.
And what's the feeling like? What's the vibe like on the ground? I mean, clearly there's a lot of emotion and passion there.
Yeah, they are extremely excited. They are so happy. It's also the first time all of these people will gather, because they live in very different parts of Europe. And they just gathered. It's beautiful. They gathered yesterday night. They rent a house. They all gather for the night before. They are preparing the protest, having ideas what we are going to do, what we are going to read, and that's very beautiful. A lot of excitation.
I think you sent in some footage as well of them on their way. Let's check if it's available that we can show it to the audience, because it was... So the videos of the brothers and sisters, they were in the car, I believe, right?
Yeah, we have I think 2 videos, one in the car and other people just in front of the house they rented last night.
They rented it. Wow, that's commitment. Yes, so let's bring up those videos.
Yeah.
Abba Sadiq, 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 Abba Sadiq.
It just shows Abba Sadiq, that name, that title is enough to unify people, unite them together and bring them onto the same place. So for anyone wondering what's going on here, let's give a bit of context. Azerbaijan is not very tolerant towards the Ahmadi religion of peace and light, unfortunately. And some of our members were doing some missionary work there. And due to that missionary work, the authorities were very offended, even though they hadn't broken any laws of religion or even of the land itself. And they immediately got arrested. And in solidarity for those brothers who got arrested, Ansar, or members of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light in Jordan, stood up and said, this will not be something we tolerate. And they protested against that kind of injustice and intolerance. And immediately they too were imprisoned. Now we have here in Europe brothers and sisters gathering from different parts of the world, different parts of Europe, and standing together in solidarity once more. It is so important to us that we speak up about our rights and we speak up about what we believe to be true, because we cannot live in a world of freedom when we are being silenced for doing what is our God-given right. And as a people, we are believers in following the law of the land, but it has to be recognized that nowhere in these places does the law of the land say you cannot protest or you cannot stand on the streets and express your religion. So it's an interesting phenomenon to see. And it's a beautiful thing to see that the Riser Abu Sadiq has made it so abundantly clear that we are a people that have rights and should be standing for them. And we will and always have done so and always will do so. So tell us more about these brothers and sisters, Brother Arnaud, who are doing this.
So we have two brothers, they come from Switzerland, and that's where really it started. A few months ago, I always encouraged the group. We have a very small group in Switzerland. You know, for now we have three Ansars.
But a precious few. Yes.
And I was always pushing them, guys. You have to take the opportunity to do anything that you can for this call, even if you're few. Get creative, you know. And one day, one of them called me. It was Ahmed. He's the person who is organizing this protest. And say, what if we make a protest in front of the UN, you know, for our brothers that are arrested? I said, this is amazing. Let's speak about it here. How we can organize with other people. Maybe I'll let you organize the thing, but maybe we can coordinate. And it's true that when I was thinking two people with a banner and a poster in front of an embassy, it will look not so strong. So we opened this call to our brothers in France and Belgium. And there are a lot of willingness. They are very excited. Yeah, of course, we want to join. And this is a process now for more than 2 months. They are speaking together and they are asking us questions so we can coordinate somehow the thing, helping the coordination of the thing, even if it's their project. And then we have people from France and from Belgium. Belgium, I think there are 4 of them. And they come all from very different background. Maybe you have picture of them.
Yes, we can actually put on the screen some of the pictures of the brothers and sisters who are gathering together as we speak right now, because they're actually collecting at the moment. It's happening in real time. So let's put this on the screen, the pictures of the brothers and sisters who are going to be gathering together. And perhaps you can even tell us who they are, Brother Arnaud.
Sure.
So let's put them on the screen.
Do we have the pictures up on? There we go. I think the pictures are now.
Yeah, this is our brother Yassine. He's coming from France. He's doing a lot of work for TikTok, for example. He helps a lot. So today he will also
active.
Very active. Here we have our sister Sarah, also from France. Our brother Salim is an amazing brother. He's creating blog in French. He's translating everything that the Divine Justice magazine is doing.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
he's really doing an amazing job. Here, our brother Bruno. From Switzerland.
Oh yes, Bruno.
He will be our contact today,
good old Bruno.
Skype contact.
Excellent.
We have here Mariam from Belgium, very active member. She is very up to contact every media for today. She really made an amazing.
Isn't she the one who opened her house to the believers and said, whoever wants to come, please come? She's emulating what Abu Sadiq from His Peace did back in Egypt.
Her and her husband Ibrahim, they welcome brother Ryan. She is living also with them at the moment.
That's beautiful.
Our sister Alexandra, also from France, she will be there today. Ulysse, he's this brother who he's a school teacher, and maybe I spoke about that to you guys. He's using his classroom to speak about the true religion of God and Abu Sadiq and the allegiance of God. He's doing an amazing job.
That's amazing.
Our brother Soufiane, he will be also here today. Martin. He's also very active on TikTok and on the net. This is Laure, the artist. So she made an amazing work. She created the placards for today.
Oh yeah.
So we have 6 placards with our slogans, our images, and she created that. So
everyone using their talents to represent.
Yeah, they all participate in a way or another. Here we have brother Ibrahim, husband of Mariam from Belgium too. Ryan, maybe we can call him today.
Oh, that would be nice to hear from them.
If we can call him. This is an amazing brother. This is Fad. And the story is quite amazing because this brother was following us for a while, but he didn't pledge allegiance. And when he heard that the protest was happening, he was like, "Oh man, I have to be part of this thing."
Wow.
And
he couldn't contain himself.
This pushed him to make to pledge allegiance. And unfortunately for him, last minute he cannot come.
Oh.
But the beauty of it is it pushed him to make this allegiance. Now he is really part of this group of believers.
Good.
Our brother Alexis from France too.
Quite a group of people.
Yeah, there are 15 or 16 today.
That's amazing.
Brother Ahmed, he's also translating videos of Abu Sadiq. He's a student at the university.
Nice.
here our brother Ahmed Admir, so he is the organizer from Switzerland.
He's organizing it. So this is the group then?
Yeah, that's it.
Amazing.
Wonderful. This is really, really exciting stuff, and it shows that there is that motivation to get up and do something that people should
we're so happy to see
Rising
this.
up.
And for you to introduce these Ansar that, I certainly don't know, because there's of course, it's a global dawah now, and you're responsible for all the French speakers, as I said, or at least a large amount of them in Switzerland. Well, a few, but a precious few. And all
soon
of these,
to be many.
Yes, soon to be hundreds and thousands and inshallah millions. And I'm really, really grateful to you, Arnaud, for telling us a little bit about the backstory of these individuals and how they come from these different kinds of professional backgrounds and how they're using their skills to come together for a cause that doesn't, that is somewhere else in a different land, far, far away, but yet they have come together in solidarity to try to get justice for these people. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Exactly. And I thought what's beautiful too is like just one idea. You see this idea of Ahmed just popped up in his mind, and out of it now we have like 16, 15 people gathering, making 9 hours of travel with the car, going from Belgium to Switzerland. And it's happening in the matter. There is now people with placards, banners, they will protest for the release of these people. And it's the first time, as much as I know, that in Europe something like this is happening. And I hope that people also will, in Germany, in UK, in this Western country, they start to move too, to show their support. Because it's quite paradoxical that when people in Azerbaijan, they got arrested, and the first people to react are people from Jordan, who know that they live in the land of the Sufyani. They know that they live in the place where they know that if they got arrested, my God, the prison is not the Swiss prison.
It's brutal.
It's brutal, it's violent, and we know what's happening in there. So these guys are heroes. These people in Jordan are heroes. Others are heroes. And these guys, too, now, they are also heroes, And I hope that this will also make people rise up.
I think it's so necessary to highlight what you said there, because in the West, when you stand up to protest or you speak out for your rights or the rights of another person, you do have the capacity to do so. You do have the ability. There is that open-mindedness to actually allow the person to express themselves, and the law does allow it. There is a way to do so. And in the East, unfortunately, in many countries, it's just not the case.
Yes.
It's actually very difficult, as you can see, standing on the streets and simply expressing that Imam Mahdi has appeared is immediately silenced, and you're immediately taken away and detained, and even, unfortunately, very, very terribly treated inhumanely.
Yes.
So the idea that we have brothers and sisters in the West who know that and who are using their ability to stand up and make some noise and make a sound out there to bring attention to this fact, bring some awareness to this fact. I really salute that from them, and I wish that everyone out there who has the ability would stand up and also do the same. Whoever has the ability to stand up and rise up and make some sounds and say this should not be happening should be doing that.
Yes.
So a wonderful move.
Absolutely. A tip of the hat to all of those involved in this amazing initiative to get justice for those people who are living in these oppressive lands, who are being detained, who without any legal process in place. And of course, on Rise Up, we're responsible, Arnaud, for two things. Number one is that we love to highlight and speak about the innovative and creative ways of spreading the dawah.
Yes.
And we kind of foster this healthy competition between the Ansar living in the various parts of the world. And every time we speak about something, somebody raises the bar.
Yes, right.
And, from putting the QR codes in Qurans to...
That was your favorite so far, I think.
So far. And now this idea to go to Geneva and protest outside the embassy. I think this takes the cake, doesn't it? And it's really, really amazing. And the other thing we highlight is that a state is progressive or prosperous and free, not on the basis of being a religious state or a religious republic or a secular state. It is on the basis of their adherence to the principle of humanity first.
Exactly.
And it is always those states that adhere to this principle that are the more advanced nations where people can come and protest. And this is why those people living in the so-called third world want to move to these nations, because they provide asylum and freedom and a welfare state that these oppressive so-called religious regimes do not. And this is something also that we highlight on our show. And it's really, really great to see that we still have this ability and freedom, and it produces results. We have seen how these human rights organizations, and we've named many of them, and Abu Sadiq himself in a recent address to the world, he acknowledged, I think there was a list of over 15.
Oh, yeah, 20. Over
20. Different organizations that are now helping to spread the word that the Ahmadi religion of peace and light is here to stay. It is an oppressed minority on the basis of racial prejudice. And this is something that we have to highlight, we have to speak about it. And the more we do and the more the people on the ground do, the better it is for one and all. So keep it going. You have to keep going. What you've done is a fantastic job, a fantastic thing for people who you don't even know, but on the basis of humanity first, on the basis of that this person is a believer in the will of the Prophet Muhammad and in the tradition that God has set up, that God is worshipped by one man in one time who is the veil of God, the Caliph over the earth. This is something truly beautiful to behold. And I think now we have to raise the bar again, Arnaud. And how are we going to do that?
We're waiting for you for the ideas here. Clearly, you've got very good ones. But I would love to show the audience what you were talking about earlier. Sister Laura, you said, was the one who made these beautiful placards and these signs so that they can be holding up outside. And let's put it on the screen and actually show the viewers what it is that they made together. So we've got these posters.
Yeah, we have they chose 3 slogans, and I think she made six placards. And on one side you have the slogans in French or in English, because we know also that all these people speak mostly French, but we recognize also Geneva as the international city of the human rights. So English was also important today. And on the back side here we see either slogans or the pictures of these brothers that have been arrested in Jordan.
So what does it say? It says, "O Sufyani, King of Jordan, free the innocents, let justice triumph."
Yes,
very direct. They're just going for it.
Can't get clearer than that.
That's amazing.
This is a clear message for the King of Jordan. Many people don't know, but for sure he knows that we know.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And this is a picture also of
a loudspeaker.
Yeah, we have that.
And that's the location they're going towards? Okay, wonderful. It's on Google Maps there.
Yes.
More placards, I think. The Star of David is on there.
They plastified some picture of Abu Sadiq, of Ahmad Hassan, also this Star of the Seventh Covenant. And they will have that in their hands. They will rise them up. And I think they will make a lot of noise in this quiet city of Geneva. I'm very excited to see that. We have here also, I don't know if they see on the screen, they made a flyer.
Good.
And they will use also this opportunity to share with the people passing by who we are, what we believe in, and
for anyone interested. And that's a picture of them standing there. So Brother Ryan is on the call. We just got notified by the producer. Let's see if we can have a nice conversation with Ryan about this. Ryan is one of the people in the group.
Exactly.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ryan.
Alaikum salam, Sister Ailia.
How are you? Thank you for calling.
I hope you're doing well. I'm good if you are good too.
Amazing. So I'm here with Dr. Irfan and Brother Arnaud Balay. You're responsible. Yeah. So how's it going? Please tell us more about what's happening.
So today we have a manifestation in Geneva. We are 16 brothers and sisters, and we have the manifestation is for her brother in Jordanian, okay, and the sister. So we have so many slogan. I don't know.
Yes. By the way, brother, if you would like to speak in French, we have Brother Arnaud here. He can translate for you. It's absolutely fine. You speak as you're comfortable.
Ok, thank you, brother. Donc aujourd'hui, nous avons une manifestation à Genève. Nous sommes à peu près 16 frères et sœurs, tout simplement. Nous allons être devant la mission permanente de Jordanie, justement, où nous allons manifester pour le droit de notre sœur et de nos frères qui sont en prison actuellement en Jordanie. Yes. Et pour porter un coup au Soufiani, roi de Jordanie, mettre pression à la politique pour que nos frères et sœurs soient relâchés, tout simplement.
Ok, je vais traduire
D'accord.
ça.
Donc,
Je vais traduire ça, Ryan.
voilà, ça va jusque-là?
Yes, if you are saying we are 16 people coming from Belgium, France, and Switzerland. We are going to protest in front of the permanent mission of Jordan. 4 our brothers arrested in Jordan, and we are also here to put pressure on the Jordanian government to make them know and make the king know, the Soufiani knows that we are here, we are many, and we are not letting this pass. So.
Good.
That's the spirit.
Very good. That's amazing, Brother Ryan. We're really happy that you actually connected with us. We feel like we're kind of with you guys now, there in the train or the car or wherever you're sitting.
Yes.
You're still in the car?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
French, probably.
Où est-ce que vous êtes maintenant?
Là, on arrive, on se dirige tous du coup vers la mission permanente de Jordanie et on va juste faire quelques réglages pour que tout soit bien filmé, d'accord? Donc réattribuer les rôles tout simplement.
Okay.
Et
So
voilà, pour l'instant, on va se concentrer sur ça.
They are moving towards the place, the location.
Oh, wow, amazing.
And they're going to make all this technical adjustment also for the later call. We will, as you know, we will broadcast that also in French. We'll be there for 4 hours.
Very good.
We have the allowance.
Exciting. Very exciting.
So yeah, they are going there to prepare that now.
That's fantastic. No, thank you so much for calling, Brother Ryan. And we feel like now we are with you in spirit. And certainly we are with you in the trenches. And thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
God bless you.
My brother. And labbaik Abba Sadiq.
Labbaik Abba Sadiq. God bless you and Assalamu alaikum. So amazing. That's so amazing. I'm so touched right now. I really am. Like, this is such a great time right now that we're living in. We have with us the savior of mankind. We have the man who's holding within him the spirit of God. He is the one mentioned in the Holy Will and Testament of Prophet Muhammad. He's the one prophesied to come in this time and do exactly what we're seeing happening right now, which is uniting people and bringing them together, and all sorts of people. I mean, if you looked at those pictures of the 15 to 16 members, there are people there with Islamic backgrounds and people there who didn't have Islamic backgrounds from different countries, speaking different languages, Arabic, French, English. And it is not a small matter. This is a great thing in uniting. We are so strong and so able to improve this world. And that man is none other than the Qaim of the family of Muhammad, Abdullah Hashim Abba Sadiq. And how proud are we to be his companions and to be able to sit here and share this with the people and connect with our global family around the world. It's such a beautiful thing. It really is.
It really is. And this is one of the things we have to appreciate and acknowledge. It truly is miraculous how people from all over the world, speaking all these different languages, are united under one banner as a family. You know, this is something that sometimes even family members would consider twice in terms of marching in front of any kind of official building and protesting because of fear that they would suffer its consequences. But these are people who've never met each other, just purely on the basis that they are siblings in faith. They have approached this building and they're going to do these protests. It's truly remarkable. And by the way, there are many historical examples of how these peaceful protests that are being done to raise awareness have had seismic effects on society. And, you know, we can even go into that, but truly, truly remarkable. And thank you again for calling. And we hope that more people will pick up the phone and call. And if you're watching this, we are, of course, broadcasting live to the entire continent of Europe. If you are somebody in these lands that we've talked about, Switzerland, Belgium, anywhere in Europe, really, France, you have to get involved. You know, if you are somebody who is just watching on the sidelines, this is a call to action. It is for the welfare and betterment for all humanity, even people living in Europe. You have to stand in solidarity and make that difference through taking action. And of course, this dawah is a call to action.
It really is, absolutely.
The word is out there. This morning I had some German brothers and sisters from the studio saying, oh, but actually we can maybe call the Germans and maybe they can join. I say, okay, no problem. I give you the address. Yes. I know the word is out there also in Belgium. We have a journalist that is always like supporting us, like republishing our persecution cases.
That's amazing.
And he already published for that. We have Thierry Val from Cap of Liberté de Conscience.
Yes.
That is someone who is very important at the UN. He was always like
speaking on our
behalf, and he published on their website, on Facebook. So we see maybe some other people will join this.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure it's a very attractive idea to be united together, and it really has that appeal, doesn't it? It really brings people together with good hearts and with a lot of sincerity. Let's continue showing the viewers what we have that was prepared for the protest. We can go back to putting those screenshots on the screen now and go over what we're looking at. So I think that's a picture, I believe, of the brothers and sisters gathered together.
Yes, this is yesterday when the first group came and gathered in Geneva. We have here Ahmed taking the photo. Because he's welcoming the people.
He's the one organizing it and standing at the front of it.
Yeah, he's the one also who made all the process, because in Switzerland, if you want to make a protest, you have to contact the police, the commune, all these things. So he took care of all of that. He's welcoming the people. He's doing an amazing job. Really want to thank him here today. And here it's another picture of this is the Ansar from Belgium, just before the departure, yesterday too. So
looks a bit cold there.
Yeah. And we have I don't know if we have picture there, but it was snowing, I think, on the way. So they're really doing an amazing job. Here we have an interesting picture. They had this initiative yesterday night to all meditate together at the same time.
That's beautiful.
To send their intention and prayers for today and for the brothers in Jordan.
I think that's probably Sister Laura, am I right?
Yeah.
From the back of her head.
Yeah.
Now here we have the brothers and sisters from Jordan who actually got arrested. Am I correct?
No, this is brother Ulysse.
This is
from Belgium, but
okay.
he had this. He printed this banner.
Oh wow!
A few months ago, and he will take it today. He's a famous banner. It's the banner of.
So he's actually going to take the black banner.
Yes.
Says on it "Allegiances to God"
exactly.
to Geneva. That is so incredible.
The black banner of AROPL will be raised in Geneva today.
Wow.
So this is just symbolic.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
What an honor for that person to be able to do this, right?
Yes.
Truly. I mean, imagine lifting up the flag in Geneva. It's a beautiful thing.
And coming up next, we have pictures of the Jordanians.
Yes.
Okay, and that is, these are our brothers that we are standing up for, that we are speaking out
Exactly.
for. And it's, they deserve it. They really deserve it. And of course, we are with them, our prayers are with them, and now we are also speaking up for them. So God willing, something will come to fruition from it.
And I was thinking also, this movement that they are taking the initiative of today in Switzerland is equal to the sermon of Abba Sadiq from April 2023. I don't know if you remember, but at the end of one of the sermons, he's asking the believers to go in the streets and to show to the world in what they believe, and to stop to have fear about that, and to show the world we are here, we believe in that. Imam Mahdi is here, and we have to make the people know that Imam Mahdi is here, that we believe in it, that we are many, and also for all the people who are arrested, we are showing support. And this thing never stopped. If you see this thing happen in Malaysia, in Algeria, it's always popping up at
Jordan,
at some part in the world, and today in
now
Switzerland.
Here.
And these people will go down in history because they are the flag bearers, literally, and also the people who initiated this movement. Now, if you look around the world and you see, places where peaceful demonstrations caused huge results and repercussions, you will see in the 50s and 60s in the civil rights movement in the United States, where people were fighting for their rights. And of course, we have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, personalities like this who are now revered and loved, whereas before they were hated and loathed and killed even. So it is really, this is what at stake. We have the Indian independence movement against British colonial rule, which was, again, a peaceful protest. This is how the ball got rolling, and then people gathered, and the momentum finally created the results that the people were seeking. And then, of course, we have apartheid in Africa, which, again, started with these civil disobedience sit-ins where people refused to accept that there is this apartheid between the black people and white people. They had separate bathrooms and toilets and drinking facilities and restaurants. And Mandela and those people who were behind him and supporting him said, this is inhumane. And they refused to accept it. And now apartheid is no more, at least in South Africa. Now, we are standing at a very similar crossroads here, and the people who are doing this, they literally are those figureheads who are now creating this call for justice in Europe, and God bless them.
God bless them indeed. And we have a press release about it. I was thinking maybe we should read that
let's go
to the
into
viewers.
it, yes.
And let's put it on the screen so they can read along with us, and let's read it together.
You want me? All right, let's do it then. So it's peaceful protests in Geneva for religious freedom and solidarity with the Ahmadi religion of peace and light. So this is dated, of course, December 20th, 2024. On December 20th, adherents of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light across French-speaking countries in Europe will gather in Geneva to peacefully protest the ongoing persecution of members of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light in Jordan. The demonstration of solidarity aims to shed light on the grave injustices faced by Ahmadi communities in Muslim-majority countries and to demand accountability from Jordan or the Jordanian authorities for the violation of religious freedom. It goes on. The Ahmadi religion of peace and light, a religious movement with beliefs diverging from traditional Muslim views, has been the target of systematic repression and intimidation in Jordan. This oppression reached a critical point on July the 25th, 2024, when 6 members of the Ahmadi community were arrested while peacefully conducting missionary work in Amman's Tia Ali district. The detainees included Isa Mahmoud Abdurrahman, Abu Shaheen, Fadil Mustafa, Muhammad Alyan, Yahya Hassan Abdullah Jabir, Omar Mahmoud, Abdurrahman Abu Shaheen, Yahya Abdul Majid Mahmoud Berjawi, and Maryam Jabir Sabir Al-Debaji. I hope I pronounce your names correctly. Were charged under Article 150 of the Jordanian Penal Code for quote, insulting religious feelings of others.
My goodness.
Remarkable. And including sectarian strife. Reports indicate they endured harsh interrogations, threats of job loss, and solitary confinement in abysmal prison conditions, all to suppress their beliefs. Religious authorities denounced them as heretics, prompting the national security apparatus to impose stringent surveillance measures. They are prohibited from gathering, communicating with one another, or publicly expressing their faith, effectively silencing their religious practice. The plight of Maryam Jabir Sabir Al-Debaji is particularly troubling. Initially slated for release after affirmation of faith resulted in postponement of freedom and eventual charges alongside her peers, these arrests, alongside broader repression, reflect a disturbing pattern of discrimination and harassment that violates Jordan's constitutional and international commitments to religious freedom. In 2020, Jordanian authorities even shut down the satellite channel of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light, silencing their voice to hundreds of thousands of viewers across the Middle East and North Africa. Protesters in Geneva will call on the Jordanian government to, number 1, drop all charges against the 6 detainees arrested on July 25th, 2024, and end their prosecution. Number 2, uphold the free exercise of religion for the Ahmadi community as guaranteed under Articles 6 and 14 of Jordan's constitution. Number 3, abide by Article 18 of the United Nations International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which protects freedom of religion or belief.
I mean, I think it's a very strange accusation to place upon someone that you've insulted somebody else's religious feelings.
Yes.
To risk 3 years of prison for insulting the feeling of
the feelings
people is not.
Yes.
Is
odd.
Is odd. And it's more than odd. It's completely outrageous that you have a government that pretends to be a Muslim.
Yes.
And is arresting, violenting, and putting these people in the threat of losing their job, and putting them in prison. Yeah. What is the reason? Because these people say, the Prophet Muhammad say that he will write a document that if they follow it, they will never go astray.
Yes.
And they follow this document.
That's
the reason why
that's their crime.
This is nonsensical. This is the world of today. This is the Muslim states today.
Yes. And they have, Arnaud, extremely diabolical tactics that they use to incite these violence. So the government authorities or the religious clergy, they won't sometimes necessarily directly attack, but they will spread misinformation campaigns and then say, by the way, that person believes in this.
Which is what they have been doing.
Which is what they're doing. And this is something that is absolutely insane. And it just goes to show the evil intentions towards people, like Arnaud said, who are calling to the will of the Prophet Muhammad. These are not people who are standing on the pulpit and desecrating things that people hold sacred. They are not saying that, we believe that there are 12 gods, which is, of course, something that goes against mainstream Muslim belief. But they are saying, we recognize that Prophet Muhammad, as in your narrations in Al-Bukhari, says that he was writing something, he was prevented to write it. Guess what? We found that narration in this book that is with the 12 Shias, and we are holding it aloft with pride. We believe in it. And now the claimant of that will has come forward, and we are going to support him. And we invite you to do the same, because the Prophet Muhammad said, those who follow this will never go astray. So on that basis, they have been attacked. Yes. They have been ridiculed. They have been persecuted. They have been fined. Anything that you can imagine, they have endured it. And I think it's really powerful, actually, as we were reading that statement, we're using the constitution of Jordan itself.
Exactly.
They were able to refute what is happening on the ground in Jordan. And how can anybody answer back to this? It's completely...
They're going against their own law, and this is not the first time. I mean, we've had people in different countries of the Middle East who have stood up and protested, and especially, for example, the very classical case of the Algerian Ansar, who literally committed absolutely no crime whatsoever, and their greatest crime was to sit in their homes and make a couple of videos about what they believed in. And this was enough to have the Algerian government go against them and even issue a verdict in the Sharia court saying that they are no longer considered Muslim. In fact, they are apostates to Islam, which is a huge insult and accusation to place on a human being. Yeah. And for them to do so after knowing that their own law and constitution allows for freedom of religion and allows for them to believe in what they're believing in. Yes. It is absolutely abysmal. Yeah. And the press release continues. We can continue reading it now. Let's put it back on the screen and finish the last half of it. It says, this case has already been raised at the 57th session of the UN Human Rights Council in September 2023 in a written statement submitted by Coordination des Associations et des Particulars pour la Liberté de Conscience. I hope I did that right, Arnaud.
Yeah, French.
A non-governmental organization in special consultative status. Several prominent human rights groups, religious freedom advocates, academics, and scholars of religious studies across Europe and the United Kingdom have condemned this religious persecution against Ahmadi members in Jordan through an open letter they addressed to Jordanian authorities. As one Ahmadi member poignantly stated, "We're not asking for special treatment, we're simply asking for the right to practice our faith in peace, without fear of persecution or imprisonment. Is that too much to ask in the 21st century?" For further information, please contact Hadil Al-Khuli. Hadil Al-Khuli is our human rights outreach coordinator and is tirelessly working for these cases of our members across the globe for quite a while now. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been quite a while since we've had all these kinds of persecution cases going on.
Yes, it's been a long while, and Hadil is working with a team of people on the ground. She has been able to gather a lot of support, like I said, in these NGOs for human rights who are supporting now the call of the Ahmadi religion of peace and light, because they've seen with their own eyes, they have witnessed the persecution happening. We have footage of it taking place. And we have very, very credible reports of all kinds of human rights abuses that we've spoken about, that we've written about in the Divine Just State magazine, and also televised here on our satellite channel. So there is so much overwhelming proof that now no human rights organization can ignore this call. And some of them have been absolutely amazing in supporting the rights of these people who are being persecuted on the basis of their religious belief. And by the way, in Jordan, they have actually gone against their own constitution. And don't be surprised if something else takes place that is more horrendous than what has happened right now. We spoke about the advent of martial law happening in a country like South Korea, for goodness sake, that's been such a stable democratic state for many years, economically prosperous, and it can happen. And this is the world that we're living in today, where countries are going against their own constitution and breaking their own laws as and when they see fit. So you can see that these laws are only here to serve a few people who have their own interests above everybody else's, and they don't believe in humanity first, and they certainly don't believe in equality and freedom, as you've seen. So certainly this is something we want to highlight in this show, in this particular episode.
I wanted also to mention that Jordan is seen on the international platform as a kind of modern state, a modern Islamic state, you know, a stable country in this messy Middle East, you know, and a state that always say that they are like a kind of beacon of light for the human rights. They represent another Islam, another a new way.
Yeah, progressive Islam.
Exactly. And we see today that they are like exactly doing the opposite. They are putting people in jail for insulting the feeling of people and actually speaking about Islam, but a true Islam. And as you say, nothing untrue, nothing provocating, unless the words of the Prophet Muhammad themselves are provocating for a Muslim today.
It looks like that is the case. It looks like it's the case that people who say that they believe in the final will and testament of Prophet Muhammad are hurting the religious feelings of others, which is really a shame. And the fact that these brothers and sisters are gathering in Geneva and standing together in solidarity for the sake of those brothers and sisters who've been persecuted in the Middle East. Let's remember that it's not just a matter of, perhaps there are people in the West who think, okay, they got arrested, they got detained, they were put into jail for a night, or fined. It's not that simple and it's not that clear cut. It's actually very horrendous what takes place. We're talking about solitary confinement. We're talking about physical abuse. There were even cases of sexual abuse. There were cases of harassment and mockery, taunting, slander being thrown at them, their reputation being destroyed, ostracized from society. And even in cases like Algeria, people being stripped of their citizenship and told that they're no longer citizens of the country. And that in itself is such a terrible plight to go through. Because when you are no longer the citizen of a country, that basically means we do not give you any rights. Somebody could come and rob you in the middle of the night and the police will not be at your help. The government will not care about you. No lawyer will be there to help you. There's really no rights that you own any longer. That is the kind of consequence that you can face for believing in Imam al-Mahdi in this day and age in the Middle East. And it's because of this inhumane sort of perspective that it's necessary that the brothers and sisters in countries like Belgium, like Switzerland, like France, and in Europe, essentially, and in America, actually stand up and say, let's do something about it. Because the threat to one man's freedom is actually a threat to every man's freedom. It's not a matter of this happened to someone far away, it's fine, it didn't happen to me, it didn't happen to my family. If the powers that be are threatening one man, then essentially all of us are under threat. And we have to recognize that and do something about it.
And this reminds me of a statement I once heard, and it's a saying, but I will paraphrase it, but I think the point will become very clear. You know, it goes, first they came for the gypsies, then they came for the Jews, then they came for the Muslims, but I did nothing. And then they came for me. You know, because then there's no one else left, right, to protect your interests. We are one humanity. We believe that we are the children of Adam, and it is very important for us to support one another in our moments of difficulty, in our plight. And the plight of the people, as Ailia spoke about, is much worse than you can possibly imagine. Living here in the West, where people are detained, they're taken to a police station, they're released the same day with everything, all their belongings. Here it's very different. This is a different world. It is a murky world. No one knows when anybody disappears off the street. They could be shopping in the market, and next minute, no one knows where they are. And then 6 months later, they are released, or they are never released, and they're found somewhere dead. And this is something that happens on the ground in these countries. And this is why, as Ailia, you rightly said, and it's a very, very important point, that those people who are still living in countries where freedom is a human right, they have an obligation upon them to really speak up and take it to the next level in terms of highlighting and putting international pressure on these so-called progressive states that claim to be progressive, but they're extremely anti-constitutional and they break the law as and when they see fit. And this is not something that is going to bode well for them in the long run, of course, but also it really does tarnish the international reputation of such states that carry out these gross violations of human rights.
On the prophetic level, I find also very interesting what's happening today in Geneva. We have these 15, 16 people gathering from Europe. They are these worshipper of the sun and the moon that are raising the black banner of Muhammad and his family, while people in Jordan, a Muslim state, officially a Muslim state, are rejecting the Mahdi, rejecting his members, not being interested at all in feeling insulted by the message of Imam Mahdi. So we see here a prophecy really just under our eyes fulfilled.
Yes, very, very true. The prophecies are indeed being fulfilled. And we had, before a few weeks ago, we had Brother Ahmad Halal here, and we basically just spoke about this narration that says that the sun will rise from the west. And you can see why this is such a true prophecy and why it makes sense when you truly contemplate on the words. We said that the sun, the earth's rotation will not flip. There will not be a earth kamikaze thing going on. There will be a rising of a figure from the west. Can you imagine, trying to create the movement of the Mahdi in a country where the scholars are calling us in, these so-called Muslim Shia scholars who profess faith in the last will and testament of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and they say, you know, your Mahdi, if he comes, we were going to kill him. We're going to be the first to fight him and we're going to kill him. Of course, this is not going to be feasible or possible to do in these types of countries where these threats are being issued on a daily basis.
And quick interjection, what shocked me about that statement was they didn't even say if the person you think is the Mahdi or your Mahdi. They said if the Mahdi rises, we will be the first to go against him. So they openly admitted it.
Wow. Yeah. No, talk about highlighting the point there. The Mahdi.
The Mahdi.
And of course, this is because they recognize him. And the reason people, for anybody who's watching us right now, for God's sakes, really wake up to this idea that the scholars of the end times are the worst people to go to learn about your religion. They will completely distort any truth that you have ever learned and pervert it and confuse you. And you can see by their own statements, the Mahdi. And they will say to him these exact words as promised and prophesied by the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt that they claim to know and serve and revere. They say they believe in Ja'far as-Sadiq, peace be upon him, but they go exactly against his successor, who is mentioned in the same exact will as Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, peace be upon him, is mentioned. And this is something that is that has to be recognized.
Yes, we're talking about a land in the Middle East where we have actual footage of Ansar or members of this religion. While they're in their homes, it's caught on CCTV that militia are coming in with machine guns and shooting at the walls of their houses and the windows. We have footage of their cars being obliterated by bullets. We have people being tied down and force-fed antipsychotic drugs. We have children, literally little children and infants being stuck in rooms with their parents, but stuck in rooms with no food, no water for days, just waiting for some form of relief. Why? Because they believe that Imam Mahdi has appeared. And what are they doing with that information? Are they harming someone? Are they going against someone? Did we even speak against anyone until we were spoken against? No. Because Imam al-Mahdi is an extremely humane individual who believes in humanity first before everything. So this is the call to action right now, is that if you are a person who believes in freedom, if you are a person who believes that every human being has the right to exist and has the right to express what they believe in without being detained and oppressed, as long as they do no harm, if you're someone who believes in that, then you and we are on the same page here. Because we believe that the ark of salvation has become a requirement due to the fact that we're living in a world where that is not a belief any longer. We're living in a world where people claim to believe in freedom, but they do not act upon it. And thankfully, there are still entities out there like Amnesty International. There are still entities out there like Human Rights Without Frontiers, like CAP Freedom of Conscience, that are actively and vocally speaking out against what's going on. we saw just in the last few days, Brother Arnaud, we were talking here on Rise Up about Malaysia and the Malaysian government. And what an absolute ridiculous show that is from their side of censorship and trying to silence the truth. Why are they so threatened by the YouTube channel that they have to ban the YouTube channel in their entire country? What is that about?
Yeah, it's about fear. Yeah, it's like, and they mentioned, if you remember a few months ago when they made the first ban about the TikTok channel.
Yes.
The religious minister of religious affairs came on TV. It was such a big matter.
It was such a big deal, a TikTok channel.
Yeah, he had to announce the whole country that he doesn't want this message or this religion to touch the youth and the future leaders. I don't know if you remember this sentence, it's touched me. So these people are afraid that people just know the truth or they get influenced by something true. So they ban it, they hide it, and it's incredible that such a country with these millions of people are afraid of few people on TikTok, on YouTube. It must signify that we're upon something, something
so
true. And big.
And they should be afraid, and they have everything to fear. And those who are holding aloft the banner of Abu Sadiq have nothing to fear. One of my favorite ayahs from the Quran says, "Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun," which means that those who are the close, dear ones of God, fear does not touch them, and they never get discouraged and despondent. And this is the message that Abu Sadiq gave in response to a believer who said, "I live in a state where there is incredible danger to my life, but my heart and soul are telling me to preach the message that you are teaching. And I could potentially lose my life, but I really, really want to do it." And Abu Sadiq said, "Don't fear. You know, that which is written will come to pass. You do your job." And he said it in a very concise statement. He said, "Go ahead, my son." And he said, "Peace be with you and God bless you." So this is really the message of the day. We want you to stand with complete courage and no fear whatsoever and spread the word of God, and God himself will protect you. You saw how when Moses had the Red Sea in front of him and the armies of Pharaoh behind him, he did not lose his composure. He did not lose his faith. And it was his words of yaqeen that parted the Red Sea. Beautiful. And God will do the same for you.
It is so incredible. Faith can part the sea in half, and it can do absolute miracles, and it is, and it will. So if you're on board with that, then call in, write in. We're waiting to hear from you, and we're excited about what's going to be taking place later on today. So make sure you stay tuned to make sure you don't miss that live on camera, right? It will be actually a live streamed event.
Totally.
Amazing. All right. So make sure you stay tuned for that on this very channel. And thank you very much, Brother Arnaud, for taking the time to sit with us and telling us about what's going on. Let's see what happens later on today. And until that time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.